All right, let's bring this meeting to order. The legislature is now called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Bendet.
Here.
Mr. Burns.
Here.
Mr. Casal.
Here.
Ms. Doran.
Present.
Mr. Fiacco.
Here.
Mr. Fleming.
Here.
Mr. Grant.
Present.
Mr. Grimm. Mr. Harrington. Ms. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Leverage.
Here.
Mr. Patiri.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here.
Mr. Tessman.
Here.
Ms. Sullivan-Tita. Ms. Weaver.
Here.
Mr. Wysocki.
Here.
Chairman Stammel.
Here.
18 present, 1 absent.
Mr. Grant, invocation, please.
O Heavenly Father, who has filled the world with beauty, open our eyes to behold your gracious hand in all your works. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Green.
Mr. Grimm, I'm sorry.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Grimm.
Mr. Chairman, I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the special meeting of December 2nd and approve the minutes as printed.
Second? Motion made, second. All in favor? Aye. So moved. Move on with the agenda, the meeting agenda. Presentation of petitions.
On file.
Communications.
On file.
Reports and commissions.
On file.
Departmental reports.
On file.
Reports and standing committees.
On file.
Local laws.
There are none tonight.
Okay. With that, I would say, if there's, is there anyone here who would like to speak on resolutions tonight? Since I blew by that earlier. Nobody signed up, right?
Nobody signed up.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay, we'll move on to the index of resolutions. P3 or 43519.
P 43519, resolution to increase state support for Cornell Cooperative Extension County Associations in the state of New York, introduced by legislators Harrington, Wysocki, Fleming, and the entire legislative body.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes, 1 abstention. Oh, I'm sorry, 18 ayes on this one. Sorry.
Next would be P 43619.
P 43619, resolution imploring the state of New York to immediately amend and delay implementation of bail and discovery reform laws that will endanger the people of New York and reverse decades of bipartisan progress in reducing crime, introduced by legislators Stammel, Hoffman, Harrington, Grimm, Doran, and the entire legislative body.
On the question, anybody like to discuss this? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 43719.
G 43719, resolution authorizing the chief fiscal officer to sell real property at public auction, Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 43819.
G 43819, resolution authorizing community program grant agreements, county executive, introduced by legislators Leverage, Stammel, and Grimm.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
17 ayes, 1 abstention, Mr. Peter.
So moved. G 43919.
G 43919, resolution authorizing a maintenance agreement with Mason Technologies, Inc., Department of Social Services and Probation, introduced by legislators Grant, Tessman, Sullivan-Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 44019.
G 44019, resolution authorizing an agreement with Unity House for provisions of domestic violence services, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Tessman, Sullivan-Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 44219.
G 44119,
441, sorry.
resolution authorizing an agreement with Jewish Family Services, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Tessman, Sullivan-Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 44119.
G 44219,
19,
resolution
yeah, just-
authorizing the purchase of public
Alexia.
transportation from the Capital District Transportation Authority, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Tessman, Sullivan-Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 44219.
G 44319, resolution
So
authorizing...
moved. Get this one, G4419.
G44419, resolution authorizing an agreement with Start Children's Center, Inc., Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G4519.
G44519, resolution authorizing agreements with Northeast Parent and Child Society, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G44619.
G44619, resolution authorizing an amended 2019 agreement with Berkshire Farm Center and Services, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G44719.
G44719, resolution authorizing an agreement with Northeast Parent and Child Society, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G44819.
G44819, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of telephone system upgrade for the telecommunication system at the Rensselaer County Correctional Facility, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G44919.
G44919, resolution appointing members to the Rensselaer County Community Services Board, Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45019.
G45019, resolution authorizing the contract amendment for translation services, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45119.
G45119, resolution authorizing an agreement for billing and electronic patient record-keeping software, Department of Mental Health and Bureau of Finance, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45219.
G45219, resolution authorizing acceptance of an award from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services and the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, District Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45319.
G45319, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Public Defender, Conflict Defender, and County Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45419.
G45419, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Public Defender, Conflict Defender, and County Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45519.
G45519, resolution authorizing and directing the Rensselaer County Chief Fiscal Officer to correct the 2017 through 2019 tax rolls for the town of Sand Lake, Bureau of Tax Services, introduced by legislators Loveridge, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45619.
G45619, resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for court reporting district attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45719.
G45719, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget for Public Safety Grants, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45819.
G45819, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget for Public Safety Grants, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G45919.
G45919, resolution amending resolutions G38219 and G43119 to increase the services to retain Harris Beach PLLC to represent Rensselaer County and Rensselaer County Clerk and green light law litigation, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
12 ayes, 6 noes. Bailey, Peter, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46019. I'm sorry, 46119.
G 46119, resolution authorizing purchase of electronic document management software and related services, Bureau of Research and Information Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46219.
G 46219, resolution amending G 24316, authorizing departments with sufficient appropriations to electronically purchase approved office supplies from the New York State contract PC 67296, Group 23000, Award 22790-E star EE-RA-RM, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Stammel, and Grimm. Thank you to Central Services for that title.
On the question?
Round of applause.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
16 ayes.
So moved. G 46319.
G 46319, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46419.
G 46419, resolution authorizing contracts for the early intervention of preschool programs for program year 2020, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Bendet, Casal, and Doran.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46519.
G 46519, resolution authorizing purchase of ice control products from the Albany County RFB-2019-095, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46619.
G 46619, resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant extension from the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, Bureau of Public Safety, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46719.
G 46719, resolution authorizing a contract for Ford, Chevrolet, and Chrysler Dodge parts and repairs for auto maintenance, Highway Department, and SOAR District, Bureau of Central Services, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Stammel, and Grimm.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46819.
G 46819, resolution amending the 2020 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget District Attorney, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 46919.
G 46919, resolution authorizing the county executive to submit a small cities community block grant application to the New York State Office of Homes and Community Renewal, and authorizing county executive to sign agreement if funded, Bureau of Economic Development and Planning, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Bailey, Bendet, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 47019.
G 47019, resolution authorizing a contract amendment and amending the 2019 Rensselaer County Adopted Budget, Department of Mental Health, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tieta.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 47119.
G 47119, resolution accepting additional grant funding from the New York State Department of Health and for the Drinking Water Enhancement Grant Program, Department of Health, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Bendet, Casal, and Doran.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 47219.
G 47219, resolution authorizing a contract extension for liquid polymer, SOAR District Number 1, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 47319.
G 47319, resolution authorizing the purchase of protein matrix sufficient treatment products, SOAR District Number 1, introduced by legislators Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G 47419.
G 47419, resolution authorizing the purchase of highway equipment, Highway Department, introduced by legislators Leverage, Grant, Sullivan, Tieta, Harrington, Bailey, and Fleming.
On the question? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G47619.
G47619, resolution authorizing an agreement with Star Children's Center, Inc., Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G47719.
G47719, resolution authorizing an agreement with Star Children's Center, Inc., and amending the 2020 Rensselaer County adopted budget, Department of Social Services, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. 47819.
G47819, resolution accepting funding from the New York State for Raise the Age and amending the 2019 and 2020 Rensselaer County adopted budget, probation, jail, mental health, social services, youth, Dyke and Pond, and employment and training, introduced by legislators Grant, Testman, Sullivan, Tita.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G47919.
G47919, resolution authorizing a service contract for the Rensselaer County Correctional Facility Inmate Management System, Office of the Rensselaer County Sheriff, introduced by legislators Testman, Grant, and Weaver.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G48019.
G48019, resolution establishing a capital project facility master plan implementation, Phase 1, Hudson Valley Community College, introduced by legislators Casal, Bendet, and Doran.
On the question? All in favor? Opposed?
18 ayes.
So moved. G48119.
G48119, resolution approving the proposed inclusion of property into agricultural district number 1, introduced